Welcome to the To Your Success podcast, hosted by Krista Johnson and Elin Solheim. Each bi-weekly episode takes a deep dive into how success and freedom is created and how you can start living the life you truly want now. Krista was top CEO of international companies for more than 20 years. He's done business in most parts of the world. Now he is an international success mentor, helping people and organizations to be successful. Elin and Krista are partners in life and business. They truly live what they teach every day. They sail their beautiful 43-footer around the world while helping clients all over the world. They are proof that you can get all the freedom you've ever wanted. They truly live what they teach every single day.
Hello everyone and warm welcome to a new episode of the To Your Success podcast. I am Krista Johnson, mentor Krista Johnson, and with me today is...
I am Elin Solheim, as always, by your side, your wife and business partner.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Good to see you again too. Yeah. I think we do the same thing every intro.
We do actually that.
Yeah.
We do that. So maybe we should come up with a new intro. So
if anybody has a suggestion,
or thank you for joining me, we can say that. Okay, but we're going to be a little bit more precise today. We're going to talk about a very, very interesting subject.
Yeah.
The shortcut to creating a dream career.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back and what others told me, and the feeling I have myself, is that I made this career. I was really young when I got a lot of responsibility.
Mm.
And I started, well, there are many, many years since I started. I graduated beginning of the 1990s. I think I graduated in 92, 93, something, as a master in economics. And then I started to create my career. So I can say a little bit about how I did that. I did a few key things. And I was not aware of what I did at that time. So this is when I have looked back, and as Steve Jobs said, you have to look back to connect the dots, and somehow you have to trust that the dots will connect in the future using your intuition. I always followed my intuition. I call it gut feeling, but I've always had a very, very strong developed gut feeling.
Have you always followed your gut feeling?
No, I wish I had. The gut feeling was there, but I didn't follow it.
Let's not go into
because I was afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Afraid of what others would say. I was judgmental to myself, afraid of not being good enough, afraid of what others would say, afraid of doing mistakes. Some of the fears I had, and then I didn't follow my intuition. Not always, but I did it when I created my career. And going like really long back in time, I always liked to be in charge. That follows my personality. I'm a choleric melancholic. I was a Boy Scout for many years, and I was a patrol leader. So I started actually developing leadership skills when I was like 12 years old. And I guess that is why I came into the path of studying leadership, finance, economics, and management and all that. That is a part of a master's degrees. So, but I remember the last term we had at the Norwegian School of Management, we were asked, what do you want to do? And I remember that I said, before I'm 40 years old, I want to be in charge of a large international company. That was my goal. And that was the smartest thing I ever did, because I just set a goal. I set a direction. And even though I didn't work on goals like we teach and we do ourselves every day, it was still a goal, right? I was always eager for more.
But did you have that goal like right in front of you? Like no.
I just knew I wanted to be a CEO.
Something you said, and you didn't work on that goal actually.
I worked on it without thinking about it, because the direction was set. I started after university. I started working in Nestlé, which is world's biggest food company. So I worked almost 4 years there. But since that was my goal, I mean, there are a lot of people going there. I started as a product manager and a brand manager there. So I started working in Norway as a product manager, and then 2 years later, we reorganized that, and I became brand manager for quite big brands in Scandinavia. And I, since my goal was to be in charge of companies, I knew there was like a corporate ladder I had to climb. Others were really happy just being a product manager or a brand manager and then staying the same place, and then becoming, after, like it was in Nestle, you had to work like 5 years as product manager and then brand manager and then product group manager and then marketing manager, etc., etc. At least I don't know if they have speeded up that process now, but I was eager for more all the time. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to create more. So already there, set that goal was important. After then 4 years in Nestle, I went to Maxbo, which is a DIY chain. I was marketing director there for a couple of years. And then when I was 29, I got the possibility. Well, I was contacted and asked if I wanted to be CEO of the first company I was CEO of. And I was wondering, what the hell am I doing? Right? But I trusted myself. And that's really, really important. You have to trust yourself. And when the opportunity shows, you have to take it. I was so afraid of change at that time too, that I had I wrote down like 100 questions asking to the employer. Luckily, I didn't ask all those questions. But I was gathering information. But I actually made the step. And I think that is why my book is called Be Daring, Be Different. You have to be daring and be different. Be daring meaning that when the opportunity shows, you have to take it.
I just remember the first time I got a leader, what do you call it? Engagement. I never looked at myself as a leader.
No.
And then somebody said, I think you should apply for this.
Yeah.
This work and this job. And I was like, me? Really? But I just thought that, of course, I can do it. And then I applied and I got the job. And then... Yeah.
That was the start of your career.
Yes.
And you are a nurse, and I guess your self-image. And it's interesting, right? Because our education creates our self-image as well. And your identity was to be a nurse. And then someone said to you, maybe you shall be a leader because we think you're good at that. And then you accepted that idea. Others would then reject that idea, right? But I guess you had the vision that you wanted something else, something more, and that's like a guiding star. And it was that for me. After when I became CEO, I actually, before I started, I haven't told this to anyone else, but one night I drove. It was in a different town. So I had to take a ferry and drive about an hour to get there. And I looked at the factory. I walked around the factory and the office building, and I said, oh, this is a little bit scary. But I dared, right? I dared. It was not easy. I was not great at the job at the beginning, but then I practiced. But there is one thing that is very, very strong in me, is that I'm a really good decision maker. So it felt right. And the same thing when we started, and that was a turnaround case. The company had lost money and lost sales, and the clients were not so happy, so we had to change that, right? And I did that. One of the really smart things I did was that they had already a guy working with an external consultant working with the organization, and he became my first mentor. And I remember I had worked with, and this is interesting. I asked him because I didn't know. I didn't have the self-image. It was not automized in me to be a CEO. So I asked him, and his name is Bredo, and he's close to my heart. He's retired now, but we still talk a couple of times during the year. And I asked him, but who do they want me to be? Right, the people in the organization. We had about 100 employees. And then he looked at me and he said, but Christy, can you be anyone else than yourself? I said, no. Well, that is who they hired. To be yourself. But we can work on you becoming a better yourself. That is what he helped me with communication skills, social skills that I needed to learn, and all those things, right? Because kind of the marketing, sales, production, I knew, but I didn't know how to be a manager. And I trusted myself, but I got help, right? And that's so important. I often say, you know that, Elin, that I say to my clients, and I said that to managers when I worked with people and managers and management groups as well. I say, I have much more respect for those people that say that I don't know this, I want you to help me, than those who try to figure it out on themselves, right? Because it's a humbleness. It's being humble, being honest with yourself, and not being afraid of asking for help. It's not a weakness, it's actually a strength. Have you ever seen an Olympic champion in any sports not having a coach? No, you have a coach, right? Because you need some guidance. Otherwise, you continue doing the same thing over and over again. Hi, this is Christer. Thank you for watching and listening to our podcast. We really appreciate that. As you see, we love sharing how you can live the life you truly want, and we also love sharing how we live this every day. You know what changed my life is that I did one thing. I signed up for a strategy call with my first mentor. That was the one thing that changed my life. And that is why we offer you to do exactly the same thing with me and my team as well, because we know that that call, those 30 minutes can be the thing that changes your life. So if you go to our website, christerjohnson.com, up in the right corner, you will find a button to click on. Click on that button and book a strategy call with us. It might be the best thing you ever done to change your life. Have a wonderful day. And now back to the podcast. So then, going back, set goals. Yes, I set that high goal, and I accepted the idea of that goal. Even I said it when I was at the university, it was like, this is my path. I want to do that. And what is fun is that you do the goal achieving activities, but at the same time, the possibilities come to you, right? And when they are there, you have to be daring, you have to be different, meaning you have to be that one. I mean, the higher up you come, the fewer people are around you. It's kind of a lonesome job to be on top. And then you have a board, and the board is not there to make you happy. It is there to make you reach your goals. So you have to be daring, take the opportunity. You have to be a little bit different than anyone else. And I developed my leadership skills. And what is leadership? It's a huge difference between being a manager and a leader. A manager can be something who organizes things. A leader set high goals, make fast decisions, move forward. I said that we make 100 decisions every day. If one is wrong, we fix that. We were never afraid of doing mistakes. We just moved on. And when I was in charge of Alpha, for instance, we took that company with a wonderful management group. We took that from 550 million Swedish kroner to almost 1.2 billion in 4 years. Great profitability, right? But we focused on goals all the time. So that shows the power of setting goals. I mean, I think people more and more focus on the strategy than the goal, right? In the corporate world, a lot of people are afraid. I often say half jokingly that it seems like it's more important not to do mistakes than to do something good. And that's where you have to be daring, be different. Don't be afraid of doing mistakes. You just learn from mistakes. But of course, then today you have the media and everyone thinks you're an idiot and all that. And I know a journalist in one of the larger newspapers, and he always writes negative things. I said, have you ever tried to think a positive thought? And he was not sure he was able to do that.
I don't think it would sell either.
No, and that's the challenge, right? That's the challenge. And actually it goes back to, when you say that, it goes back to that it's actually easier for the brain to think a negative thought than a positive thought. Because then you just continue doing the same thing and you don't have to create new ways of thinking. And that takes less energy instead of thinking new ways, challenging yourself. Okay. So then leadership is actually to set high goals and to point in that direction and then to make really good decisions fast. And I highly recommend you to follow your intuition and gut feeling in making those decisions. And then having great mentors, right? I have had several mentors through my career. Bredo, as I mentioned, followed me for many, many years. And I used him even when I changed organization. And that is important. And don't be afraid of challenging yourself, And what happened to me was that the higher up I got in the hierarchy, and then when I was 29, I was hired as CEO of a company. And then when I was 34, I was asked to take over the whole group. And that's young to be CEO and president. In Norwegian, it's called concernchef. But Stefan, who was my chairman at that time, he actually wrote the company goals into my employment contract. So
Smart
I
one.
still have a copy of that. It says, Christer shall, in 5 years, double the size of the company with and maintaining or growing the profitability, and it shall go public or be sold. And the goal was just there. That is what I did when I, as a young manager, then came into that organization. I just put those goals up.
Maybe he did that to help you as well, because you were young. It was easier to just give you the goal,
Yeah,
and then this is
give the direction.
your task.
Yeah, and Stefan is really one of the smartest guys I ever met. He's a very, very good thinker. I'd love to meet him again. He lives in the States now. But it would be really fun, right, to ask him actually, did you do that on purpose, or is this just the way you are? I think it is just the way it is, that he is like unconscious aware, but he's really good at reaching goals. He set goals and he worked for them, in his mind.
So maybe just send a copy of this episode to him.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah,
maybe
that's a challenge.
Already. I know he follows me, so follows us. Okay. So then, when I was in the corporate world, the more I worked, the higher up I got, the less happy I got. Like I felt in the hamster wheel. I have a picture that I show to all my clients, a hamster wheel made of gold and full of diamonds. That was a picture I took in London in 2006, I think. And I was just tired of creating value for others. I wanted to create my own life, our life, and you know that my goal has all the time been sailing around the world. And I knew how to sail. I didn't know how to come back, right? And I wanted to sell everything, like sell our house and all that. And then we discovered that there is a different way of doing that. And that came from the goal, because you wanted to keep the house. You wanted to stay in contact with your family and have a strong relation with our environment here in Norway. And I just wanted to leave.
I want the best of both worlds.
And
because it's fun.
It is. It's fun. And it's challenging. And
but that's fun
go back to the purpose of the goal is who you become on the way to the goal. You have to become that. And without that corporate career, I'm very, very grateful for that corporate career. And also the years when I, after me being CEO for many, many years, after Alpha, I transitioned to a Norwegian company. And because I wanted to stay more in contact with my family and not travel so much. And then I worked in more the owner's level in a family office. And I learned so many things, right? Attitude. There is one, I told you that there is one sign, like a magnet, this magnet sign that you put on the fridge door. And in the office where I worked the last years in the corporate world, it says never, 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 never give up. And that is what we teach today as well, right? Because you never fail, you only learn, so you never give up. Consistency and persistence. I actually read that in Think and Grow Rich today. Persistence is the key, right? You never give up. You're just persistent. Because the purpose of the goal is the journey to the goal. So if you are young or if you're old and you want to create a great career, I think that is what you have to do. Set the goal, trust yourself, take the opportunity when it shows. Don't be afraid of that. Because if you're asked to take a job, someone believes in you.
Follow your intuition.
Right?
And get a mentor.
Develop your skills.
Get a mentor.
Yeah. I mean, I when I reflect back on my life, that is one of the things I did. And that was what changed my life too. The reason why I'm not in the corporate world and we are creating our own economy now is because of Bob Proctor, who was my first mindset mentor. And I didn't work very long with Bob. It was only a few months, the last time of his life. But he popped up in my YouTube. I mean, he could have been in my YouTube many times before, but that was when it resonated with me. It's like we say in yoga as well, when the student is ready, the teacher shows up.
Yes.
And it is a little bit that the teacher has been there all the time, but you change your perception, and then that is what happens. So, and what came up after me being ambitious on my career is that I wanted to create my own life, because freedom is something that I really like. right? I enjoy my effortless freedom every day. It's on my goal card. I enjoy, we live the life we love, and I enjoy my effortless freedom every day. It feels so good just to say that. And I was asked 2 years ago, I think I was at a seminar in North America, and I was asked, I had a dinner with some other attendants to that seminar, and I was asked, and they were in the corporate world and they were afraid of leaving, and that, you know how afraid I was. I told that before. And they asked me, do you want to go back? And then this sentence came to my mind: I'd rather die than go back. There is no alternative. When you have first got the taste of freedom, there is no alternative.
No. And you ended up texting that to me as well. I'd rather die than go back. And I was back in Norway, and I was thinking, what are you doing? I am never coming back.
We have to talk about communication in couples in a
Next episode, communication.
I texted because I was so high. I was so happy with me going all in, right? Being fully committed to what we do. And I texted, and I didn't think that I took that completely out of the environment and the circumstances I was in. So what happened was that you wonder what the is he doing? So he doesn't want to come back to me now, and then you hung up. And you went
I didn't hung up. That's the wrong.
You said I turn off my phone.
I went to bed, so because we were in different time zones as well, so I went to bed.
Yeah.
So you had to explain.
So I actually wanted to come back to you since we're still here, but I didn't want to go back to the corporate world. So I understood that I was a little bit too eager at that time, and I had to communicate that a little bit better. So we never fail, we only learn.
Maybe next time we will talk about communication and...
Yeah. That's fun. Okay. So to summarize, if you want to have a great career, you can do it. There is no one else than you who can create a wonderful career. You have to do what I told you. It is to set the goal. I want to do that. It is to trust yourself. Take the opportunity when it shows. Be daring, be different. Develop your skills. And maybe the most important thing, have someone helping you. Have a mentor. It's so good and it makes it, actually, it is a shortcut, to do those things. But if you really want to compress time, have a mentor that has done what you want to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, ideas, Elin?
As always, everything we do is to your success.
To your success, yeah.
Yes.
And we love helping other people, and that is what we do every day. Okay.
Yes.
So thank you for listening. Feel free to subscribe. Share this with others. We do this because we help others. I just looked at the statistics, and we have more than 150,000 people that have listened to our podcast so far.
That's amazing.
It is. It
you
is.
haven't told me that. Wow.
I checked it yesterday, actually.
Okay.
So, and you find us on YouTube and all the audio podcasts. And so, as we said, all we do is to your success, and we wish you a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of To Your Success podcast. Please leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. For more information on how Krista's mentoring programs can help you in your own life, visit kristajohnson.com.